Hello, everybody. Welcome to my informative speech. Today, I will be sharing with you a subject that I think it's important to talk about, and that is keeping kids safe. I feel like this subject it's not out there as much, or if it is, not everybody feels comfortable talking about. Maybe because of the complexity, maybe because it makes some of us feel uncomfortable, or maybe because we just want somebody else research and do what it needs to be done. So I just want to make sure that I extend some information for you to know a little bit more about keeping kids safe. And that doesn't have to be just with kids next to you, but any kid is important. I like to start my presentation by kind of giving you a statement question/question. Did you know that April is the National Child Abuse Prevention Month? And according to the childwelfare.gov website, with the Prevention Resource Guide 2021-22 says that the National Child Abuse Prevention Month recognizes the importance of families and communities working together to strengthen families to prevent child abuse and neglect. April is a great month to bring awareness to everybody. Organizations, communities get together to make sure that everybody knows about it. And that is great. However, I do think that bringing awareness to keeping our kids safe is a subject that it should be in the radar for everybody throughout the whole year. So with my presentation, I hope that I can give you a couple of different aspects or information that you can add to your conversations whenever you need it, if you're ever talking about this subject. Why should we care about this? Why should we care about keeping our kids safe? Because our children are the future of this nation and the world. The next generation needs to be healthy. Our children need to be mentally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy in order for them to be able to lead us in the right direction one day. If we help children right now to feel loved, cared for, and we give them what they need, we will have individuals with self-esteem that will lead us in the right direction later. But if our children right now are suffering, being neglected, then we run the risk of having individuals in the future with problems, with issues that need to be resolved before they can care for others. So essentially, it is because our children are the future of this nation, and we want to have people with manners, with values, but people that actually are healthy internally for them to be able to lead others the right way. Something that I think I'm going to pay attention to in my presentation today is that when we think about keeping our kids safe in child abuse, there's one specific child abuse that comes to our mind, and that's sexual child abuse. However, there's so many other aspects how a kid can be abused. It can be maltreatment and neglection. It can be child and mental and physical abuse. As we said, child sexual abuse, among others. You know, according to the NBC News article written by Mike Hicksensburg and Taylor Marfenstesky, the article's name is "A Doctor That Says She Has Extensive Training in Child Abuse." She talks about how she knows the signs when she sees patients, how they can prevent when they go out not to be abused, and if they have, she knows the sign how to identify when they are already been in that situation. And that is awesome. I was reading and I said, wow, but can only doctors really know the signs? Why not ask to educate ourselves into what are the signs to prevent from something happening to somebody that we love or any child around us altogether? According to the World Health Organization, UNICEF, WHO World Bank Group, Joint Child Malnutrition Estimates 2021 edition, this is from the UNICEF website, tells us that malnutrition refers to the deficiencies, excesses, or imbalances in a person's intake or energy and or nutrients. UNICEF is talking directly when a kid has been malnourished or neglected due to not having the nutrients needed. So today, because we see so many other types, I'm going to be focusing into 3 different aspects. Number 1, I'm going to be talking about malnutrition and neglect on a child as a child abuse. The second one is going to be a little bit about sexual abuse. And at the end, I'm going to give you, as a conclusion, I'm going to give you ways how we can prevent from this happening to us and what to do in case it happens. So you know that still with the UNICEF, it says that there's 3 elements how they can actually see and check when a kid has been malnourished. And then one is stunting, and that refers when physical and damage in companies stunt growth. So when a person has been stopped from growing due to malnutrition. The second one is wasting, and that refers when a child who is too thin for his or her height. So there's not enough nutrients for that person to be as tall as they could be. And the last one is overweight, and that refers to children around the world who are actually giving more calories to take, but they're not healthy calories, which makes them to be overweight. So stunting is wasting and overweight. That's how they actually measure a neglect in a child. And I like to address also a little bit of what it is child sexual abuse. And this subject, it's a little bit more uncomfortable. I'm not gonna stop here for a long time. There's so many resources that you can check in the website on Google about how to prevent and what it is, how it happened, so much. And this is a subject that it's heavy because it's complex. There's so much behind it, and it's difficult sometimes to talk about it. So according to the Children's Assessment Center, sexual abuse, it is an activity between adults and minors or between 2 minors when one forces the other to do something that doesn't under force. That is under force. This includes sexual touching and not touching acts like exhibitions, exposures, pornography. And believe it or not, our children are suffering from that right now. There's so many children that don't speak up, that they don't say anything because they don't know how to. Child abuse is out there, and it's our job to, maybe if we're not able to stop it to the 100%, it is our job to help and rescue those out there that may be going through that. If you work with children, and if you think there's resources out there that will help you, I will say by any means, just do it. Educate yourself. I did talk a little bit about malnutrition and neglect as one of the reasons why child abuse happens. I did talk about sexual abuse and how many kids out in the world are being sexual abused right now. And I want to finish and give you conclusions in how we can educate ourselves. So there's different things that you can do. You can always be aware. If you see something, say something, right? If you see something off happening to a child, please speak up and say something. Read online. There's resources, organizations that are bringing the awareness to the public. If you work with children, train yourself. Ask your organization, can you train me on this? Child abuse is an issue that is not determined by race, by sex, social, economic status, and it can happen to any child because they are vulnerable. So I ask you if you can please help me to prevent from something wrong happening to a child. So today, just to conclude, we learned a little bit about child abuse. We learned about the child abuse can come in a form of neglect and malnutrition. We learned that child abuse can come in the form of child sexual abuse. I also gave you really quick couple components and what to do if you see something. You speak up and say something, you educate yourself. And I just want to finish by saying that it is our job to protect the next generation because they are the future. And it doesn't matter if it feels uncomfortable. After a while of studying the subject and understanding it, it should get better. And you and I can be a solution for somebody. We can help somebody in need just by knowing a little bit more. Let's educate ourselves about keeping our kids safe. Preventing from something happening to a child is something that will stay with us for a long time. Thank you so much for checking my video. Thank you so much for your time and have a nice day. Bye-bye.